Thank you. Hello, 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 hello. This is Health Matters. Just stay tuned, share the video, and
Share image.
hello and welcome. Hello and welcome to Health Matters tonight. It is another day, another beautiful day, and we are glad you are with us at this time. Wherever you are, we say welcome. Welcome to this very, very interesting topic. Tonight, we'll be discussing the issue of rape, and we'll be using Liberia as a case study. Tonight, we want to say we stand in solidarity with all the rape victims in Liberia and even around the world. And we want to say, may the Lord strengthen those that were, you know, raped and they lost their lives, and even the trauma they are going through because of this. We want to say, receive more strength to go on, strength for a new day, strength to face the future. So you are welcome here tonight. This is Health Matters, and this is a presentation by the Fortified City International Ministries. Tonight, I want to give our panel the opportunity to introduce themselves. Wonderful people doing exploits in their own field, and I'm glad they are with us tonight. Everyone you see here were, they came on rush, the business schedule, and the time difference and everything. I want to say thank you to my sister Nene, all the way from Germany. And Nene, thank you for the sacrifice. It's very late on us, but here we are tonight. This is Health Matters, and your health matters. Tonight is about rape. Rape. So I want to give my guests tonight the chance to just introduce themselves. They are not strangers, they are all contributors to this Health Matters program. So you have seen them multiple times. So, but just for those that are watching for the first time, I want us to start with Abby this time. Abby, you are welcome.
Thanks for having me. Thanks. Hi to all my fellow panelists. My name is Abby Tyler. For some of you know me already. I've been here a couple of times already. I am a family nurse practitioner. I practice in a private practice in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I was also a nurse for 22 years. I am a graduate of Drexel University, and also run a health blog called Abby Tyler's Healthy Living. It's right in the back there. So if you're interested, join my page. I also talk about health information and all too. So I'm happy to be here and happy to contribute.
Thank you so much, Abby. Thank you. I want to go to Nene. Nene, can you hear me? Your audio is muted. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Nene Shaffer from Liberia. I live in Germany.
Thank
Happy
you.
to be here. I'm a cook. Happy to be here to discuss this wonderful topic concerning rape. So I hope everyone will just be part of it so we can learn tonight. Thank God we have the nice here. We will learn a lot from her. So everyone should just be ready to just take home something. You're
Thank
all
you so
welcome.
much. Thank you, Nene. And we have James in the back. James.
Yes, hello everybody. This is James Jensen. I'm here to contribute to the topic. Rape is a serious matter, not just in Liberia, but throughout Africa and the world. Is a concern that affects most children and women. So I'm glad to be here. I lived in Pennsylvania, the United States. And of course, yeah, I'm here to contribute. Thank you so much for the invitation, and I'm glad to be here.
Thank you, James. I want to say welcome to all of you and thank you again for accepting our invitation. Tonight is all about rape. We're going to have our lines open
Here to
and
contribute. Together.
we're going to have our lines open. So those of you out there that want to make a comment, that want to, contribute, just say something, talk about your experience at the end of the program. You can do that. You can make a comment or you can call on WhatsApp. That's the number on screen. It's 952-201-9287. And you can also call direct, the same number, 952-201-9287. So this is Health Matters, and tonight we are talking about rape. So we want to go straight to the topic, and we want to start with Abby tonight. What's the meaning? What does it mean when this person say, "I have been raped"?
Well, to start off, uh, everything we say here, if it's medically part of that, make sure you check with your doctor first. But we're talking about rape, so that's
Thank
pretty much across the board.
you.
But what is rape? The U.S. Department of Justice defined rape as the penetration, no matter how slight, of the vagina or anus with a body part or an object, or oral penetration by a sex organ of another person without the consent of the victim. That is a definition. Okay. You want to go into the effects of rape? Or are we doing?
No,
Oh, okay.
yeah. We have a couple of cases we have heard about in Liberia concerning rape and all that. Um, we want to go to the law because we are taking Liberia as a case study tonight. So we want to know what is, because a lot of times people feel that they have not been uh, properly taken care of. Justice is not done or justice is not served. So we want to know the laws of the land. What is rape according to the law, or statutory rape? What is it? And since we want to ask Jensen our question.
Well, again, thank you, patient. I'm here since we're discussing about Liberia. In January 2006, the Transitional Legislative Assembly amended Chapter 14.7 of the Penal Law of Liberia. And they amended the law to state just what I be read. I mean, um, they start to define rape as when a person who has sexual intercourse with another person, male or female, that person commits rape. And rape is defined as intentional penetration of that special organ of a woman, anus, mouth, or any other opening of another person, male or female, with his penis without the victim's consent. That is rape in a Liberian context.
So we're going to come to Nene. What does the word of God say concerning rape? It's a something that is acceptable. What does the Bible say? You muted?
Yeah, sorry, like because of my phone. Anything you force anyone to do, even Jesus, he did not even force anyone to follow him. He's not even forcing anyone against their will to follow him. So for someone to force you against your will, it's wrong. The Bible is against it. God did not force anybody. Nobody should force anybody to do anything. When you look in the Bible, what happened? When it took place in the Bible, a whole family was killed because of that. That's how bad it can be. It's so it can destroy a whole family. It can destroy the person involved or a whole family because it's like you taking away everything the person have. Everything they have, you have destroyed everything. So it is not anything that anybody is supposed to do to anybody. Nobody's supposed to do to anybody because especially for the women, all what the women have is her body. She can be educated, like she can know all the book in the world. What she really have is her body. If you just take it away from her against her will, the Bible will not support it because God is not forcing anybody. So nobody should be there to force anybody because if we really look at it in the Bible, the way they did it, it was in the Old Testament. Before, if you rape, you have to marry the person. But now we're not under the law anymore. So we honor grace right now. So that is why more people taking advantage of it, giving people children and going away with it. But if we go back to the Old Testament, you'll be forcing your daughter to get into somebody that already destroy her. It will still not be fine. So we are no more under the law. So grace have covered us, but the Bible is against anything that you force anybody to do against their
Exactly.
will.
Because God Himself, He gave us choices from the beginning.
Yeah,
And
yeah. It's not
so
forcing
it
anybody.
is free will. We are free to accept, to accept the love of God. It is by our choice that we serve. So everything else that is false, that is
Hmm.
really, really contrary. I agree with you,
Yes.
Mother Nene. And Abby, what are some of the physical effects, the effects of rape? Because people, I'm glad we are here tonight, and I'm glad Nene is here. So she's going to give us her personal experience. What are some of the physical effects of rape?
Some of the physical effects of rape can rise from forced sexual assault and those not involving any forcible submission, as like drug assisted rape, like date rape. People say when you go out to a party, usually somebody will put something in your drink and get you inebriated, get you completely sedated, and then they force then it's not really forcing itself on you, to just taking advantage of your body because you're laying there. So it's
Mhm.
not always violence, but it's also that's also considered rape. So
Yeah.
some of the effects of the rape, and it can be paying for intercourse with your significant other after, because after that you don't want to having sex with them. You've been so violated to where your body cannot tolerate anymore that urinary infections. Because okay, for those of you, I'm going to be using words that if you have young children around, you don't want them to listen to. Please, your discretion. Uterine fibroids, they're saying that, but usually uterine fibroids come long before that. Pregnancy, unwanted pregnancy,
Mm.
and sometimes you're forced to have that baby depending on the society that you're in, that tells most of the time after you've gotten raped, you're not really thinking of all that, especially for places like Liberia where they have no rape kits, where you're not doing pregnancy tests and all. And sometimes people, they get raped and they're so afraid to tell anybody, so they don't tell anybody. So by the time they come forward, 6 weeks later, they're already pregnant. So that means you're carrying the baby of a rapist. Okay,
Mm.
even though that's part of you too, but that's still, and imagine that psychological toll that can take on the young girl.
Yeah.
Also in Liberia, if you're a young girl and you get pregnant from a rape, the first thing your parents or people, we grew up in a society that says, oh yeah, you're too fast, you're doing this, you're finna get pregnant now, this and this. They're not gonna see that you were raped and everything that comes from that. Sexually transmitted diseases,
Mm.
right? Because chances are the person who's forcing this off on you is not going to be wearing any protection. And even if they are wearing protection, if they have herpes, they have genital warts, you're still body touching the parts that covers You still don't know if they're oral sex, if they have any warts in their mouth or anything, you can still get sick from that. Syphilis, gonorrhea, chlamydia, and many other sexually transmitted diseases. And everybody knows if it's HIV and AIDS, that stays with you forever. Herpes, and you can be treated, but you can never be cured. So that's something you're going to live with for the rest of your life. So you're moving on. If you're a young girl, you're moving on with all this thing. And then by the time you get to the point where you want to get married, you have to you come in with everything else. And we come from a society where, we pretend that it's, when you get married, you should be pure and this and that, but you're going to be getting into a marriage and with things that you had no power over. So
Hmm.
all of that. So that's part of the physical effects and all that. We'll get to the psychological effects later. But it's just when you take all of that and put it in a Liberian setting with
Mm-hmm.
no social services and all that, you can imagine how devastating that can be for a young girl, for a young boy, because boys can get raped also. And
Yeah.
even not with young girls, but grown women, they're pregnant, raping grown women, older women, very young girls, they're doing that. And I think what babies now, very young toddlers.
Yeah.
So this is, imagine that when you rape a very young girl, even toddler, and what I've been hearing is the people like anal sex, anal rape actually, and vaginal sex. When you're doing that, and after a while, you have a wall in your body that separates the vagina and the urethra, which is the urine opening, from your rectum and all your anus. So if you're raping somebody back and forth, they're so violently, you create an opening, and once you create that opening, all the toxins that come from your rectum, from your bowels, and all that enters into your urethra, into your bladder. They're never supposed to mix. And so you cause also opens from the vaginal opening into the rectum too. All the toxins mix each other that can cause like sometimes immediate death or certain death, especially if it's not taken care of right away. And with
Yeah.
no facilities in Liberia to handle that, you're talking about certain death. So it causes what is called fistula, where there's an opening where it's not supposed to be open. When you do that to a young child, you do that to anybody repeatedly, violently. That's called a rape. I also want to say there are people, we always talk about the violent rape, but there were a lot of people who were men who had sex with young girls all through. You said, younger girls. It wasn't violent rape, but it still was rape. But when you go back there, you see how many girls were molested and abused many times over. It was mostly from family members. Most of the time, it was from family members,
Yeah.
fathers, family members that they knew and all that. So this is not just violent rape we're talking about. We're talking about anything. And even if you think that she consented because, oh, whatever it is and all that, she wasn't really consenting. You probably had power over her. So you kind of talked to her and made her feel that she was in love with you. But what you were doing to her was actually raping her.
Yeah. Yeah. And we know and we hear that there are a lot of rape cases that are, that are on the increase in Liberia. So it makes me to wonder what's happening to the laws of the land. It said that these people are not caught, or or there are some, you know, powerful hands that are stopping them from being persecuted. Why why is rape on the increase and we have this kind of law? Why are they not being, persecuted? Why are we not hearing that this person did this and this was the end result? This is the punishment they receive. Why are we not hearing those things?
Talking to me or
Jensen, yeah. What
Okay,
is the
but
law? I mean,
before
is there are they waiting to, like the person to be caught in the act? Because you can see physical evidence, because most of the time these children, they are taken to the hospital and the doctor confirmed that indeed, yes, there was a rape, but at the end of the day, we don't see anything happen. We don't hear about the perpetrator. What happened to the laws of the land?
the laws can be favored, can be exercised by an acceptable society, a moral society, a society that's willing to change its course to make its society better, the community better. But nowadays in Liberia, or in the context of Liberia, rape is not is a more serious issue when it comes to statutory rape, meaning having sexual intercourse with minors or children who are under the age of 18. But if you look at the definition of rape, you get to realize that there are people who are facilitating the act itself. In the Liberian context, there are children between the age of 14 to 17, going to 18 years of age. Some of these people, if you check it thoroughly, you're going to realize that some officials of government are having some sexual affairs with some of these minors. If you do not, if you go traditionally, you find out that there are chiefs or some parents whom themselves, facilitate this process. People feel the child is body size is impressive, and then they feel sometimes some of those kids who are unfortunate, their parents either left them in the world and they're living with some relative or so. These abuses come about. So if people are serious, the rape law uh, should be withheld to the point where if rape has taken place, immediately the those who are involved should be apprehended, and then the court, the police, the justice system, the police should be informed. The police should gather all the evidence, the pieces of evidence, meaning that child should be immediately taken to a hospital, and the hospital report, which is a very good or the best evidence for prosecution, should be secure for purposes of court trial. And then there should be no reason why a child of the child specifically should be raped, and that child should be struggling to find that child's parents should be struggling to find money for prosecution. The state should have money set aside. Since the law was amended, chapter 14.7 of the penal law was amended to well define what rape is, all government that come into being, the Ministry of Justice is on an obligation to ensure by the time they hear, hey, there was a rape, if I would make a recommendation, there should even be within the Ministry of Justice a special unit to fight rape, issues of rape. Because as the nurse was saying, you destroy the child's future, you destroy the
Definitely.
child's womanhood. And not just women today, rape, the definition incorporates young men who are also abused. And sometimes it's difficult to hear these cases because of the stigmatization, that shame that go with it. So people are afraid to come out and say, especially for men, young men. If a young man is abused, he lived with the shame for a long time. And sometimes the story is not heard. And sometimes some people take their own lives in the modern society. And so until a society become morally considerate, you're going to have these issues going about, and people are not going to be taking a note of these matters. But rape has been defined. We look at the penetration, and penetration is not just the penis, but any object into any opening of a person. So it's not just, even the married woman can be raped.
Mm.
That's right.
All right. A married woman has been working for a very long time, and for some reason, she's not in any mood or having a sexual affair. Now, sexual also have other things. We don't have the time to go into all of these definitions. A woman is not prepared for any affairs. She's resting. She doesn't want. And for you men, you probably feel that, she's my wife, so I'm entitled to her body anytime. When that woman refuses to have sex and you force her to have sex, it's rape. Now, one will ask, can such issue go to court? Definitely, yes. There is no exception. When the rape says a forceful penetration of a woman's opening is rape, mean even if your wife came from the bedroom and she said she was raped, she was forced into sex, that's rape. The law will take its course. Now, to prove these matters, there are a lot of factual situations or circumstances that should be secured. Like in the US, the fact that you are reported to be a rapist,
Mm-hmm.
the consequences is not just going to court. They have a watch list. When your name is placed on a watch list for the act of raping,
Do we? Let me interrupt you a little bit. Do we have a watch list in Liberia?
I'm not sure. No, let me say no, because if the way, then people will not transition from one position to another position. And these matters, there would have been a court list. But there's something that happened. The court docket, if you are carried to court, even if the government doesn't have a watch list, the court record is something that every employer should reference. That's why people go to say we have to bring police report. The purpose of bringing police report is not just for a mere formality. People want to check whether you've been involved in some act or some crime before. Now, the police, if the police have arrested someone or someone has been reported, the gravity of the complaint
Mm-hmm.
or the evidence about the police should be able to put that person on a watch list. Liberia as a society, I don't think those in authority have ever thought of that or I think in those direction to make sure that individuals, not just rape, but crimes that are committed, people are listed, and that's how society get better. And, and since we're talking about rape, we feel is written, is the law that when someone penetrates
Okay.
any opening of another person forcefully, that's rape. Now, statutorily, whether by consent, that's rape. If you have sex with any child who is
Especially
below the age
minor.
of 18,
Yeah.
not just minor, but any child, even 17 and 11 months, the law is the law. 17, 11 months, and let's say 30 days, you have sex with a child who is or if the eve of a birthday, let me put it this way. If you had a sex with a female or a male who is on the eve of a birthday, you have raped her, whether she consented or not.
You mean the
You know,
18th birthday?
not the 80th. I'm talking about the eve of
17.
the 80th birthday. All right. So, and now this is the law. And sometimes people, when you in the courtroom, you apply the law as it says. They say before the 18th birthday, even the
Yeah, the
child say, "Oh
18th.
yeah,
That
my
means.
birthday, my pa has organized my birthday party." If doing that the eve of that preparation, and the man has sex with a lady, a girl, that man has raped that girl, whether she agree or not. She's
Okay.
being raped. That's the law. Now, whether these kind of situations, whether Liberians can accept these formalities or not formality, the seriousness of these matters, because it's about protecting every Liberian.
That's
The
right.
future of every Liberian must be protected. That's the reason why these laws are created.
Like
Not just create the laws and put the laws in some kind of cupboard or library and then just be lying down. When people want
Jensen.
to discuss, we discuss it.
Thank you. We'll come back to you, Jensen. Like what's it? The panelist just said before you came in. She said some of the people in power, some of the people that working in government, they are also perpetrators. So maybe that's why the laws are not really into effect, or we are not seeing something really vigorous. And
That's why
Let
patient I
me, let
agree with
me, let
because
me interject for a
okay,
second. Even
okay.
when you're talking about the law part, we all know that many laws in Liberia, you can have 10,000 laws on the book in Liberia. Many laws in Liberia are not implemented. We all know that they're not enforced.
so
Even
even if you have a sex offender database,
even
nothing will come up.
when something happens and people say, "Where's the justice? Where's the gender ministry? Where's the gender ministry?" No, that's a law enforcement issue. That is not a gender ministry issue. They are supposed to be there to put out theory and put out and working through and other practices to different schools and all this and talk about teaching and how to prevent stuff. But when it gets to that point, that's a law enforcement issue. How many forensic pathologists do we have in Liberia? I remember when people would say, "Oh, we had this Dr. Moses," I say, "Dr. Moses, Dr. Moses." The man's like, I'm sorry, I don't know if he's still alive, but the country is so small when you can name one doctor, when you can name one for, over here, I'd be like, maybe what, 55,000 in Pennsylvania alone, and then you have a forensic pathology that your family member, if your family member is raped, you have to pay to start the process for investigation. Whoever heard of that? How, I
I
mean,
know,
you
right?
had this child, this family member that just going through something
We
so
we had a case. We had a case like that from Maryland, right? The person. They, I mean, they don't have anywhere to keep the perpetrator. In fact, they asked the family member to facilitate the process, which is so wrong.
Yeah,
It's
and
so
also
wrong.
you don't have rape
Yeah.
kits at the rape kits at the hospital. Even if the doctor says, "Okay, yes, this child has been raped," yet did the rape kits, you have to keep that evidence, and that has to be secured until you
Right.
go to court. Because chances are, more than likely, even if the person was charged, you're not going to the trial is not going to start for a couple of months because the victim has to then get a lawyer, and then
And then
also
and then
depending
the family
so,
have to pay for
yes,
the medical
so
expense and everything, and
yes,
go through that
and
trauma.
so you're
I'm going
talking
to
you're
come back
talking
to you,
about.
Abby.
Yeah, it's like it doubled. You've been raped, and then over and over and over again,
Yeah,
you've been prosecuted because of
yeah.
somebody did to you. So let's not pretend like, okay, yeah, Liberia, the laws are there, and the reason why we get so much about it is because social media, people talking about it now, and mainly for the fact that you get with the violent rape, but
Mm,
you're not getting the ones that go on every day, okay, and
mm,
also those who are like the violent rapes that are going on. That's a different kind of pathology. That's very sickening because somebody's like that needs to be taken off completely out of society because somebody like that can also kill and must
of
have been
course.
killing the person anyways. So people like that really need to be taken out of society, but it's been war and then everything is in poverty and everything is going on. I'm not excusing that, but so the society, there's no structure. Even if it's
Mm,
there, it's not to where it's like you live in a society, the structure that these are things, these are the laws, they're implemented, and people will find a reason to be afraid of to do things. There's none of
mm.
that there. If it's there, it's not being enforced. So anybody can do whatever. And knowing full well, if you don't have the money to persecute, fine, I just go
You
rape it.
just forget about it.
Yeah.
Let me ask Nene the question. You know, I have my own, you know, comment. I have my own response, but I want to hear what you have to say, Nene, because most of the time these people they do these things, and when they know they have done this evil act, and then the family they go to the victim's family, and then they say, "Oh, forgive him, be the
Yeah,
devil was the cause," and
the
blah blah
reason,
blah.
the
What do you
reason
have to
why,
say?
number one, nothing is working in Liberia. Nothing. No laws. Nothing is working in Liberia. And then I want people to understand, for that thing to take place, it has been planned. You
There's
see,
one
most
thing,
of
Nene, before you go forward.
the
There's the one thing that is working. Anything that will extract money from you, it is working correctly in Liberia.
it's still not working correctly. They still have people that they letting to go free. It's still not working right. Anytime rape take place, it means that something that the person has been planning. Will in a community, it can't just happen like that. The reason why I'm saying it because it happened to me. It started with me. Now people need to know how these things to start. When I was in the second grade, I used to do my class every semester, and every time I had this man living behind our house that we used to call uncle. So every time when I pass, he would say I should carry my grade to him for him to give me money.
Yeah.
Now this man was planning to take advantage to do this thing. So what he was using my grace. When I pass, I rush to him.
Yeah.
Uncle, I pass. He gave you small money, small
Mm-hmm.
money, small money. But I never knew this man was trying to pump me, bring me
Yeah,
to
that
the
was a
point
bait to
where
get you to be
the
more
day he would
comfortable.
do, I won't be able to even come outside and tell mama or tell my pa or tell anybody. So they play these things, they'll play on you. They bring you to the point where you won't be able to tell anybody
Predator.
because
Mm,
they will make you to trust them. They
mm.
will make you to believe it. They will make you to rely on them. So when they do it to you now, if they tell you not to say it, you won't say it because he's your uncle. He
Mm.
giving you money. He's doing things. He making you to feel that he cares for you. So it will make you to hide it. So parents should be careful with their little girls, little boys, when they get a big man saying, my small wife, they should put stop to it immediately. That is the beginning of the trap. Because it's when the devil they will just take control of him, and then he would just do what he wanted to do. So when you see these things happening to your little children in the community, where you see big boys come and say, my small wife, come and sit down on my lap, mother should stop it right there. It's the beginning of the temptation. Every mother that have female or male, they should stop it right there. Now people can get raped. For my own, when it happened to me, was during the war. I was captured. Now I had to do it because I had gun all around me. Now this general captured me, took me to where he wanted me to be, and then he had gunmen all around me. So I was just in one place, the only place I was allowed to sit and look through the window. So he just had me. Anytime he wants to do what he wanted to do, he do. I could not come outside. I could not go anywhere. So you see, he was doing it against my will, and I had too many armed men. I could not even escape. I was just there like his slave.
And at that time, all the laws of the land were even suspended. I mean,
Everything was
like no man's
suspended. Who you
land.
going to go tell? Who you going to go say it to? So it was like, just hold your heart. One day God will deliver you from it. And I was there for weeks. I was there for months. And then one day God just gave me wisdom. And it was the wisdom I used to live. But after the war, I saw this particular person. When I saw the man, I wanted to kill. I saw him. I wanted to kill. When I went to him, I said, you know me? He said, I'm real. I said, you know me? I am so person. Yes, he escaped. I saw him 2 times and he escaped from me. He escaped because I wanted to pay back. I really wanted to pay back because he almost killed my sister because of that. So you see, but these things start from, I always talking to mothers. We are crying, rape. Nobody will come from where us and rape your daughter. The people that are raping our children, they are from the same community.
Exactly.
You understand?
People you
Because
know.
I was right there, the same uncle and brother, and just we call it uncle brothers. They are the ones that are raping our children. The mothers should be careful because I always tell you, especially mothers, you sending your little child to your uncle, to her uncle, go and ask him for $5 for me, go and ask him for 10. All these things, you just creating the room for that man to rape your little child. We should try to prevent these things, and because the thing will not just happen one time. That is why the children don't say it. Like my late daughter, I got in the war. She got raped at the age of 11 and she got pregnant.
That's serious.
The boy raped her because he was doing hair for women, and the lady just want to go to his salon. He grabbed her. He had room in the back of his salon. He grabbed her and raped her. And she got pregnant at the age of 11. She got pregnant. Now the little girl is 17 years old. I went there. When I went to Liberia, I told him, I said, see the little girl you raped? Look at the child. Because he disowned the child. Now when I took the child there, when his mother saw the child, the mother said, we can't disown the child carrying our birthmark. Now I told him, I said, you have to send this child to school, take care of the child. He refused. So I was saying the day I go to Liberia, we arrested him because he raped the girl at the age of 11.
Now, if I may come in, that's one. I like your story, even though it's sad, especially for your child, the 11-year-old child that gave birth. You now have a grandchild.
Mm-hmm.
Now the grandchild has a father who is a rapist.
Mm-hmm.
Now the law says that man's supposed to go to jail for his lifetime. That's what we call statutory rape.
Mm-hmm.
So he's supposed to go to jail for his
passing
lifetime.
around the place free.
He passing around free. I said when I go back, I will arrest him.
But here's the issue now. You have a grandchild, right?
Yes.
The law says this man should go to jail for his lifetime. Are you prepared to prosecute this guy to go to jail for his lifetime? Because the evidence is there.
The evidence is there. The guy is 16
the money
now.
is there.
Yeah.
And and when these kind of matters go to court, it becomes a real drama.
Yeah.
Sometimes you ask that mother right now whether she wants this man to go to jail.
That's she will start talking
right now. She won't.
But when it comes to the statute, when it comes to there where the justice ministry, sometimes, people are just humor. No better way to put it. All right. But before then, there's something I wanted to correct. If we say nothing is working in Liberia as a lawyer sitting here, I don't think I should accept that. We have a
One
structure
working
of
lawyer.
government. We have a structure of government that is in Liberia. Whether they're now living by the laws or they're not doing what they're supposed to do, but we have a structure of government in that country that is working. I just want to make that throw in that
It is
because somebody said,
working.
okay.
It's working for some people. It's
But
not
that's not
working
an
for
issue.
everybody.
That's not an issue. I just thought to throw in that. But
Nothing is working. Don't
since
go
we
there.
discussing rape,
Hello.
rape is a very serious
Okay.
matter.
You
And
want to
the example that you gave
make a
is
comment?
an example of many other issues
Mhm.
in Liberia. Liberia, there are a lot of children who are being abused, and some of them are just victim and living with the
Okay,
shame and
just
disgrace.
Yes.
And so, I
make
mean,
a brief
how
comment.
do we
Very
handle
brief.
these
Yeah.
matters?
Jensen, just hold on a minute.
Mhm.
I got a caller on the line. She just want to say something briefly. You can go ahead. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I was watching and seeing what the lady was talking about. It's true. And I've experienced that at some point when I was growing up. There was a guy who used to come to my mom and come in the community, call me his wife, his small wife. Not until one day when my mother sent me over to my father's older brother in this place called Chuba. And I went to go meet up with him because I needed a school fee. And while I got there, my uncle left me there and told me to carry my cousin to the church because he was blind at the time. And this guy lived with my uncle in the house. When I took my cousin and came back to wait for him, he jumped on me. That's the time they used to sell this gum, the chewing gum, the coffee gum. And he jumped on me that day, and I pushed him and ran out. So luckily for me, in the evening, my uncle came back and he saw what happened. So from that day forth, I stopped going to the house. But mostly when you tell people, they don't listen to you. Even in America, I have the same experience too. And I got a child who is a product of that too.
Wow.
But our family is in denial. Nobody wants to speak about this. This is the only way it's going to heal lots of people, especially we who've been through this the whole entire time. And they bury everything that happened to us. They bury it, and you can't speak about it because when you talk, somebody hold grudges against you, and that is sad.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Now, patient, if I may just emphasize
Okay, hold on. You want to ask a question?
No, not question. I just want to
Okay.
emphasize we don't have enough time here,
Okay.
and this is a
Thank
very
you
big
so
topic.
much. Thank you.
All right.
You know,
Statutory rape is not just the act of penetration. It also has to do with the definition is sexual contact with an individual. So that man or that boy who attempted to rape that girl, according to our story, he committed rape, statutory rape. That was a sexual contact with that person. Now, whether there was penetration, that's another that's this the when you sentencing, when the court is sentencing, the court will look at the degree, the first degree felony that is spoken about. You take all these elements into consideration. Okay, he forcefully took this guy in the room. Was there a penetration? No. Was there other elements about? Somebody say no. Okay, the court can decide to punish him. Either there will be some huge fine, or there will be lesser days, months, or years into prison, so that when you set this precedent, it becomes difficult for others to do it. Now, whether the Ministry of Justice itself is prepared to get involved, that's before someone is appointed as at that ministry, that person should have all the moral rectitude, all the moral character, so that when his name or her name is called, society will even frightened by that. But if someone is appointed at the ministry, and by the time even perpetrators or those who commit crime, have don't have fear for officials who are working for that ministry, it becomes a matter of continuity of these kind of issues within the society.
Okay.
So it's unfortunate that that girl is living under the kind of a fear.
Yeah, and the
Every time she
trauma
sees that man,
alone.
she's frightened. Like Mimi is saying here, her experience is frightening. Now, whether she can report that case to the justice ministry, yes, she can.
She can report it
Because
because
she
when
can
I
decide
called
right
the
now she
both of
go
you
ahead and
told
say
it.
what she's going to murder. Now she'll be taking this whole issue of crime to another level, which I would encourage her to do. You can't fight for yourself. If you were to kill that young man,
Yeah, because
you'll be
the
committing
way
murder,
I
and then
want before, yeah,
sometimes the way it happened, when I saw him, I was like, I will not pay back,
I understand. I
but God
understand.
yeah.
just making to escape from me because
That's what
it's
most of
like
the family experience. That's the reaction because
Right.
it's
because at
not
that time he never had no gun, he was nobody. So it's my time now to pay back. The time you did it, you had gun, you used your gun to suppress me, you did what you wanted to do with me. But then my time is now. But God just saved the both of us because maybe if you're not going to run away, I'm going to jump on that man and start choking him.
we'll
People
come
be
back to
fighting
this
to
and
get
then
him.
and Jensen. Abby, we want to know what's the psychological effect.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. Well, for so far, the psychological effect, you can tell that what she's going through, and
Yeah.
it stays with you forever. Aside
Right.
from the fact that her daughter had a,
Hmm.
child and all that, you had to go through that. So some of the short term, it can be short term or long term, post traumatic stress disorder. This is what she's going to feel a severe anxiety and stress. You're always going to feel that you're always going to be reliving it over. Some people can relive the exact time, whether it was numerous times, then they keep going back into it, and they always feel like they're going to be attacked at any minute, especially when you live in a society where it doesn't get prosecuted. So you always feel that, okay, I guess somebody did this to me, I was attacked, and it's okay, I have
Injustice.
to go on my life. Depression, some people fall into really deep depression because of that. And I know you guys are pastors and religious people and all, but it also take, you need to go to somebody who, if you go into a pastor to get checked or to get to talk about depression, make sure that pastor also has a degree in counseling. It shouldn't just be one of these by the way, pastors where go to school for 6 weeks and then they can, and they'll be saying things and reading things from the Bible where you're like, okay, especially with somebody like me, I would say you have a relationship with God. If we're going to talk about religion, trust me, we're going to be talking back and forth, because I will be able to say, oh, what about this one? What about this one? And all that. So deep depression, that can also lead to suicidal ideations too, by the way. And people have committed suicide because of that. All that, the flashback that falls into the post-traumatic stress disorder. You feel like it's taking place again, borderline personality disorder, when people see you acting differently and then they want to say, oh, what happened? Because if you never told anybody about it, especially the fact that in Liberia, also when you get raped, it's also they make you shame. Like they shame you. They say, "Oh, what were you wearing? What were you doing? You're so fast." And you think even if you were like wearing panties, walking around, there's still no reason why you should get raped. And also, we're talking about mothers wash your kids. Let's start teaching men not to rape people. We don't just put it on just a mother. Let's put that on the man, because the man is the one who's perpetrating the rape. Sleep disorder, eating disorder. They may start eating a whole lot less because their body, the image of the body, they don't care for it anymore, or they may start eating a whole lot more because it's like, okay, maybe my body was, seductive. That's why they raped me. So I'm gonna make myself in a way where nobody's gonna be attracted to me. Before, again, to do that, rape is not just sex. It's a violent crime. It's not like intimate and stuff where you say have a relationship with the person. Guilt, like, again, like I said, maybe it was my fault. Maybe I did this. Maybe I led him on. Maybe I did whatever. He got the wrong message, and then maybe I was putting out too much that he shouldn't understand. Distrust of others. You don't trust anybody. Or panic, because it's like, say if you have a child later on, and you'd be like, my child would never stay at anybody's house, would never go always with me, and you really start
Yeah, you
guarding.
try that overprotectiveness
Yes,
all because of
you
your
know. And
experience.
then especially when the child's like, why can't I go? And then you never, as the mother, you never live with it. You never resolve that. So you can never tell the child why you don't want to do. Just say, oh no, this person could do that. But you can never say what, because you're ashamed. And if you come from a society like where you came from, even sometimes in America, you still go through that. You see this too. When things happen, people are like, what was she wearing? What was she this? What is this? And all that.
Yeah, they blame
Anger,
you.
like she was saying, the anger when you see that person again, and you want to, I mean, the feeling of rage because this person violated your body. And regardless of whether you can, whether you have the power to over to kill that person or overpower them, you just want to have some kind of release and relief to say, you violated my body, you took something from me that wasn't yours, and so now I see you, and I, yes, I want to hurt you because what you did to me, and you never got persecuted for it, and I had to live with that pain, and you went on for the rest of your life just blase going on with everything else, and not like nothing was wrong. Like I said, feeling of powerlessness, powerlessness, victim feels the rapist robbed them of control, like I just admit, and also added promiscuity. Some girls, when they get
Hmm.
raped after, especially at a young age, they be like, "Oh, okay, so since you think you can just take my body away, I'm going to take control of my body." And by taking control of their body, they say, "I'm going to give away my body because it's my body. That's my choice. That's my choice now. So I can give it to anybody I want to, and I will give it to as many people I want to because you took away that from me. So that's my way of empowering myself to say, I'm going to do it. It's my choice. I'm going to do that." So all of that is all, that's not comprehensive, but that's part of the psychological effects of rape.
Hmm. There's a lot. There's a lot, and we see like the young lady here. She said, "You are right. You are just describing me." She's telling us that you just describing her situation. This is a serious, serious situation, and we can't go. Time is fast spent. We almost like 1 hour gone, and so before we give our final word, I just want to say that this rape thing is serious, especially in Liberia. It is serious. So the mothers, the fathers, they need to take this seriously, especially when you're raising your children. You need to, watch out for them. Not only the mother, but the fathers also. You need to watch out for them. And when it comes to the boys, when they are raped, I don't think it's something that they even say.
Mm-mm.
They don't even say it because they don't want nobody to tag them, that stigma. So they don't even say it. They carry that hurt, they carry that wound for the rest of their lives, and they just live it in silence. That is so evil. That is so wrong that people do to these children. We need to stop it. And because the reason why this law is like the way it is, and people are just being carried away, and they get away with it, is because the people that are supposed to be doing something about this, they are not taking it serious because it has not happened to them. Most of the time when it happened to you or it happened to someone close to you, then that's when you say, well, I have to find solution. We should not, this should not be, we should not be this way. The laws supposed to apply to everyone, regardless of your status or your, wherever you from in our Liberia. So I just want for us to, say our final word before we close. We got just few minutes before we close up this discussion on the rape. I want to say again, this is a serious, serious matter, and our eyes need to be on it. If people will march in the street, it should be for rape. Before I go that route, and let me allow people to, say the closing remark. We want to start with Abby.
Well, funnily, I mean, like I talked about the physical part and then the psychological part, and make sure mothers watch your kids, sons watch your sisters, to watch your brothers. Schools, they should be
Hmm.
teaching about rape awareness in school at a very young age, because when you're younger and you get raped, it's like you feel shame and you don't want to talk about it. So there should be taught about that. There should be taught early on in school about protecting your body, respecting other people's bodies. And also, like I said, like we were, rape, it's a law enforcement issue. It shouldn't just be where's gender ministry, where's gender ministry. People need to understand it's a law enforcement issue, and it should be dealt with accordingly. And we should get to the point where it's sickening that 2022 that you have to pay for somebody to persecute somebody for raping your child. That is just asinine to the, I don't even want to get into that. It doesn't make any sense. You know, you can see people going to court, the political leaders going to go for paperwork and blah, blah, blah. But yet a child is sitting there raped, and then you're like, oh, okay, well, when you give me some money, then we'll figure it out. I don't understand that. I really don't.
Nene?
Yes, I just want to say to the parents, like my son in the church, because I spent time with my children in the church, and this boy came to the point where he had to confess openly in the church because he had been struggling with it, hiding it. And he said the person that raped him, the person that was sleeping with him, is a priest.
Wow.
And
Jesus.
yeah, in the church, and then everybody was shocked because he had been suffering with that thing, keeping it. It's like he came to the point where he said, I think I need to say it out. And today I felt, God, thank you, he's free from it.
Oh,
I just
1
want to,
minute, Nene. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Okay, I'm going to put you on speaker so you can talk. Yeah. Go ahead. We can hear you. Go ahead. Reconnecting. Anyway, then continue, and then when he comes on, we will, yeah.
it's very serious. And I just want to say to the parents, please, single mothers, please stop using your children to go on error for you.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, Nene, hold on. Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead. Let me put you on speaker. Oh my goodness.
Hello, everybody. Hello for the Past City TV and the panelists and all of the contribution tonight. This topic is very important, and I felt a lot of things that where I'm sitting, my heart is bleeding because what you guys are discussing is very important for our society. But I would like to throw light on even the victim of rapes. It was because of the victim of rape, according to the Liberian Constitution, if you read, let's say, the Title 17 under the Liberian Code that was revised, established a code, the criminal code E, just to protect the victim, to have a protective custody of the victim. The first motive, the Liberian government, this present government, the past government, and when we don't take that government to come, they don't even protect the victim before going after the perpetrator. If you can protect the victim, one more about the perpetrator. There are a lot of rape cases out there that are unsolved. And then our people in the community too, they compromise those cases. You know, I see a lot of posts flying everywhere that we should stand up. This thing is getting so serious. I'm so like disappointed to know when I heard Prophet Apostle Nene talking, because I never heard such a case about Apostle Nene. I feel so hurt, and more especially what the Liberian people forgetting to know that we all have great story. So if you can protect other people's child, it's not good. The country is going back, more especially the justice system. People are going unpunished by some patient. People are just there, and then they're keeping somebody in jail because somebody went to see somebody's cell phone or pickpocket. They will beat them, put them in jail. They will get a speedy trial. Then one more about somebody who will rape an 11-year-old child. It's very demonic. Very, very demonic. We need to stand for this country because this country is going very bad. The fear of the law is no longer in this country. The spirit of the law has left the country Liberia. Nothing about the truth. When you come to government, if you are not part of certain clique, even when you are a government official, your voice can never be heard. When it comes to the church, if you are not part of certain clique, then you are not anointed. When it comes to women advocacies, when you are not part of certain clique, then you are not educated. That's how the country goes. There's no human right. Rape is a very dirty thing. It's very bad to the extent that for people to even be happy in their marriages, if they're not the grace of God, they don't have that strength. They always feel guilty with their husband, thinking that the husband will hear that they have been raped before. Because they know some people will say, okay, you were raped, so I don't want you. So it's so dangerous in the sight of God, even in the sight of men, socially, spiritually, legally. But our presidents, they will just sit down and compromise important things. Then the justice system is very poor. The three arm of criminal justice is the police, the court, and the corruption. If the police don't compromise, when the police have fought her and carried to the court will compromise. If the court don't compromise, the last arm of the criminal justice system, which is the corruption, the prison compound,
Okay,
they will still compromise.
Pastor.
You see somebody will go to jail for rape.
Okay.
And they'll go and change the charge sheet just to set the person free, and the person will be passing in the eyes of the victim. That's the kind of country we find ourselves in.
Amen.
That is my truth. I just wanted to put it.
Thank you so much.
For the time.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to tell people it is so painful for someone to be taking advantage of you, somebody you don't accept, and you find a person forcing themselves on you. It is painful, so painful.
Okay.
So I just want to
let
say,
me put you on or speak on it, and then you can make your contribution quickly. Yeah, we're ready. Sorry, Nene. Go ahead. Hello, you are. Yes, you are.
Actually, I was listening to the pastor, and a few time ago, I was in Liberia sometime last year, and I think when we were young in Liberia, people used to wear clothes in the morning, church-going clothes in the morning. You know, this country is a Christian nation, and you were listening to people in Mother Duplay and other people on radio and then in Liberia, and then you feel that God was actually moving. But I think we Liberians have lied to ourselves, more especially when people are in the country doing wickedness. The people telling us we should be afraid of government that we put in office. With the kind of demonic behavior these people have, murdering other people. That thing started from 1980 when Samuel Dolan came to power, and they were killing people while they're laughing. They're killing people. The bloodshed in our country is too much, and it continues today. You see, the bloodshed continues. If you look at what is in Liberia, I wouldn't turn that government. Those people are killers. Those people, when you say anything, they will kill you. What is the Constitution? You know, the late Bishop Desmond Tutu said something. He said, remove politics and tell me what kind of God you pray. Godliness and politicking are intertwined. So people who are religious people are the ones that will become government. I can tell you, because you got to be feared. You got to be, the fear of God has to be within you. Because if you are going to take an office, you will swear, whether you are Muslim or whether you are Christian, you will swear on the Holy Bible or the Quran, which is a religious book. You see, so if you look at what is going on in Liberia, look,
okay.
Liberia is completely ruined, and these people are worshiping demon in that place instead of worshiping God. I'm talking mainly the people that are running the country. I was just looking at the House of Representatives. They say they're debating. You can't tell me one thing that these people have made.
Okay, we're talking about rape tonight.
I mean, rape. Look, let me tell you, if you're talking about rape, the women of Liberia need to be praised. The last time I was on a show and they were talking, we were discussing the same thing about Liberian women. When you look at a 9-year-old child, I was watching Lena television when Johnson Street Bridge, right near Johnson Street Bridge, a little girl was raped because she was selling milk candy. And that milk candy was put food on the table for she and her people. You see?
Okay.
And what is the inquiry? What is the inquiry? 9 years old.
Yeah.
9 years old child is raped.
Yeah. We want to thank you for your contribution. Our time is fast spent. We gotta let you go. Yeah. Another time. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, sorry, Nene, you just close up so James can close up.
I was just in Liberia a few days, and a 7 years old boy was caught over a 3 years old child. And then the parents beat them so bad, and I told the parents, I said, don't beat the children. Talk to the children. I called the little boy. I said, how you started doing this thing? And the little boy, he's living with his mother. The stepmother living with the father, they are married. And then the stepmother and the father were making love. She and her husband messing up. And then she sent the video to the little boy. So the little boy went and watched the video. So the little boy says, since from the day he watched the video, something can always come over him. When the thing come over him, the thing are trying to go and lie down on the girl. So I said, what? So I had to pray with the labor. And I told the mother to keep her son away and keep her son always with her. Now, some of these things, anything you cannot control, something is controlling it for you.
That's right.
For a big man to go look at 3 years or 4 years old and sleep with her, something is wrong somewhere. So if you are on this life, or you are man, and you always having the desire, there's rape.
Rape.
Yeah, rape.
Rape.
If you are a man, and you can always have that desire when you see people, little children, that desire can come on you. Go now and seek for spiritual help. It is not normal. Because they got so many facing all the help. They got so many women in Liberia that are looking for men. And you can get money 150, 200 for you to leave there and go sleep with somebody 3, 4 years old. You are sick. You got serious problem. Go for all the help you can go for. Go for spiritual help. Go to everywhere. So, or else it will destroy you, because once you cannot control it, something is controlling it for you. Amen. So please go and start seeking. Go and start, because it will destroy you, because it is not normal to rape anybody child. And mothers, single mothers, stop sending your little children on error for you. Stop sending your little daughter to Uncle John house for $5, for $10. Stop doing it. If you want something from Uncle John, go there yourself. Call him or go for it yourself. Don't send your 3, your 5, your 7 years old daughter to Uncle house, to brother house, to this place, or your son to Uncle house. We should stop sending our children, because that's where the things are start from. You sending your little child that had to be giving her small tea. The next time they'll start touching her breast. They'll start touching where they're supposed to touch. So mothers, let us go on our own error, because I know what I'm speaking from. Let us go on our own error. So my own little advice. Men, women, they got women are raping also. They got women are raping little boys. Of course, they got women are raping little boys. I knew a girl, a woman, she wouldn't want to sleep with teenagers. She will virtualize them. They got women who love doing it too. So you're sick, seriously sick, go and look for help. Go and look for help.
Thank you, Nene. Thank you so much, James.
Okay, as you all have said, this is a very big discussion, and I don't think we have the time to discuss the pertinent issues. But Liberia is a country that needs to be improved in every respect. So tonight being about rape, we think the government of Liberia should reinforce how they're going to approach the prosecutory aspect of justice or the law. The law is unique. The law is good. Everything is written in the law protects the victim. So it only left with the Ministry of Justice, stroke government, to do the best it can to handle these matters speedily. No child should be victimized and then the parents are struggling to find money and send the victim to a prison compound, or neither should the actor be placed behind bars without trial, because if you commit statutory rape, the law says you should go to jail for lifetime. If it is first degree felony, if it is second degree felony, the court decide how many years you go to prison for. So there's no need to arrest someone if you don't have clear evidence. That's also an issue. But do not put someone behind bar for more than 1 year without trial. So all of these matters depends on the executive branch of government, the legislative, and the judiciary branches of government. These branches of government are fully responsible to day look at these matters and take actions necessary. Like Nina said, 15-year-old having sex with 15-year-old, that's an issue. Like in America, there are some states, it's called, there's exemption for this level of affairs. You always
I
have
said
this kind of
7
situation in
years old.
society.
7 years old to 3. I didn't say 15. No.
No, I'm just saying generally, between 17 years or below 17 years, if 15-year-old is having sex with 15-year-old, 17-year-old having sex with 3-year-old, you got to realize that they are none of the consent, their mind is something different. So in those cases, there are punishment for these people. Like I said, like in the United States, they'll put some of these children on a watch list. Sometimes it affects them for life. So when they get older, they don't find job because these records are on them. So there should be a way in which the government, the national legislature, they are responsible. The laws are there. But since the law is there, these things are happening, they themselves also need to visit the law. Not necessarily to change the law, but what is it that you can do to strengthen this law? If it means you call for a specialized court, you give them special power to take actions in this kind of matter, that people will monitor the entire country, there must be some action taken. There must be some decisions that will make Liberians to be very serious in dealing with this kind of matters. So once again, we say thank you for inviting us. We hope we had enough time to look at all of these elements and then discuss it in detail. But I hope next time we can have an opportunity to.
And remember, your voice is your vote. Your voice is your vote. The people who you see out there, your senators, your legislators, your president, and the people who they appoint in different ministries, if those people are not doing their jobs effectively, you want to make sure that when you go into the ballot box the next time, you make the right decisions. Unfortunately, in Liberia, president can be there for 6 years, but senator can be there for 9 years. That's a whole generation.
And before you go, let me just throw this in. Women themselves should take control of themselves, especially those with sound mind. You have your body. There's something called sexual assault. In America, even the way you look at somebody is offensive. Americans are defining these things every day. Liberia, you find a woman, maybe she herself should wear that her, maybe how you call it, although that's not reason for any man to go and rape a woman. But even that bodily touching, a woman will sit down and allow a man to be touching her, sorry for the word, the backside and those things, and she's laughing about it. She's publicly laughing about it. She doesn't seem to be very offensive. You don't do that to anybody in America.
Because in Liberia, that's normal for a man to just hit your butt. That's normal.
Yeah.
Which is
no, there's law. There's a law. There's a sexual assault. Sexual assault is
the law has not been. It doesn't get enforced. So just stop saying that.
The first thing is, all the women or women in Liberia should take charge of their bodies. Do not allow a man. Maybe you're working with a man in his office. He's passing around and touching you. Sometimes men are even brave to go and touch the woman's breast publicly.
Human resources.
And a woman is not offensive.
The offices in Liberia have human resources that are going to protect her from sexual harassment in Liberia.
Of course, every woman should raise an issue. If women
what is happening here most of the time?
But if you're laughing about it, the minister
to get a job there. To get a job, they gotta sleep with you. They gotta force you. They gotta do this. It happens from the head down.
I'll go sell my potato greens to survive. I will do that. I will not allow John Brown to do this to me.
Thank you.
So that's what women take control. I mean, when you start to do these things, why are you doing the advocacy?
Teach men not to rape.
Thank you.
And men should also take it and stay away from women.
Thank you very much.
I agree. My argument is women take control of your body. Do not allow anybody else to come. Okay, your breast is shooting also. Then,
and men, you cannot run, can't touch our body, our breast.
Yeah, the men committing an offense. That's sexual assault. So yeah, just keep. This is it.
Thank you very much.
But that doesn't mean.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Just in closing, one of our contributors here tonight, our listener, she made a comment that the product of rape is sometimes difficult to handle, and sometimes you see the child and you think about the situation that happened to you, and sometimes you don't want to see them, and sometimes you can't help it but to love that child because it is your child. The child is also part of you. But whatever the case may be, if you are in that case and you are in Liberia, maybe you still need to talk to somebody. If you are here in America, you still need to talk to somebody to help. Once you go through proper counseling and over, see the better side of it. See that child as no matter how the child came to this world, God always has a plan. He always turned the evil around to work together for your good. So do all you can to love that child. And I believe, as time goes by, with help of professionals, it could be your doctor, it could be a professional counselor, it could be your pastor. At the end of the day, you're gonna get to love that child more and more and more, and that the hatred part of the feeling is going to gradually wear off. And I want to say to all the families that have gone through this terrible situation, we want to pray that the Lord will continue to strengthen you, and comfort you. And those that lost their lives, I look at that 13-year-old girl that lost her life. She was raped and the hospital could not even save her. I mean, it is a terrible thing for any family to go through.
And the women could not even march.
Yes. This situation is a situation for people to get in the street and march. It's a situation for them to advocate for change because this is pure wickedness. But I did not see anyone. Women, wherever you are, these are the things that you're supposed to get in the street for. I don't want to know what kind of position you are holding and you are marching. But the fact that you did not identify with that family, it means so much. There's so much question in that, in the whole thing. But here you are in the street, marching for someone that they were praising, because I see it as a compliment that has on it. They were complimenting the young lady. They were complimenting her. And Liberian women, you're sorry because they were abusing you.
Since you brought that thing in before we close, let's make a few comments on that.
I just want to say,
honestly, I agree with you, patient. There's no reason. I don't understand the essence of the march.
So
okay, the statement is protecting this one lady.
Yes.
All right, it's protecting this lady and it's denigrating Liberian women. So what are you marching for? You should be very specific. As far as that statement is concerned, that book is concerned, the statement was denigrating Liberian women, not the lady you protected.
I'm telling you, this is who you are. And you get in the street and you be solidarity with somebody for no reason.
Somebody are praising.
They are self-praise. That's what I'm looking for. Self-praise. You want to do some job where you can look at you and say, "Oh, this is it." We as office should be. Yeah, but we as office should be the one responding. Not Liberian. You must get in the street because Liberian women have been disgraced in the process.
Thank you.
Somebody is saying, "Are they ABC way? Liberian woman, are they ABC way? This person and this person is better."
Can you imagine?
So who is affected in
that would be another topic for another day. That would be another topic.
You brought it also be on the platform.
Another way to also look at it is like it's also possible that he may be the problem. Just saying.
That's so true. That's why at this point people should make statements. They think it doesn't even concern about it. The book is about individual.
Topic. We want to say thank you.
Respond.
We want to say thank you tonight. Thank you for
That's
being
helpful.
part of
Now
this program.
you brought it
Thank
up,
you.
man.
Yeah, I know,
Thank
right?
you for everything. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for being part of this discussion tonight on rape. And whoever you are, wherever you are, and those that are sick tonight, I pray that the Lord will touch you and there will be total healing. And don't forget, whatever we say here, we are bringing information and education. Please, please, please don't forget to see your doctor, your primary care physician, or whoever you go to when you are sick. Make sure something is wrong with you. Seek the help of a professional. Don't self-medicate, and don't think that everything God made or God gave the wisdom to the doctors so they can be able to help. So it's not everything about, you taking holy water and taking holy oil. There are time for it. If God gave you instruction and said, this is what you do it. Do it without questioning it. Do it because you have heard from the Lord. But there are so many people that are dying and all kinds of things happening to them because Bishop so told them, Pastor so told them, and blah blah blah, all along the way. May the Lord
Now
help
what they
you, and may
perishing
the
for?
Lord deliver you in the name of Jesus. God bless you tonight. I declare you are healed in the name of Jesus. Don't forget, we will be here next week Thursday. Good night and have
All
a
the
wonderful,
Liberian Winnie,
wonderful time. Liberian
we
Winnie,
are
you're sorry.
wonderful
We the
and we are
one, we the
beautiful.
sorry. You're sorry. God bless you tonight.